Folks, thanks for coming on with us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour or so discussing one of the programs that are available for you to offer and you should speak to with your Medicare beneficiaries during this open enrollment period and throughout the year, regardless of their base coverage. We have guest speakers with us from Medico today, so we're going to roll right into Get Hip with Medicare and Medico. Keep in mind that today's presentation is being recorded, and it, along with the material that we'll reference throughout the presentation, will be sent to all those who RSVP'd to today's presentation. So watch for that a little later today or tomorrow. A bit of background about our organization with Premier Marketing. We're a national marketing organization founded in 1968 that's part of the Integrity Marketing Platform. We have offices across the country acting as insurance wholesalers in conjunction with independent insurance agents such as yourself to provide these programs to the public. They are available, these programs, with contracts at the highest possible commission levels and recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. As I mentioned, we were founded in 1968, so this past year we celebrated a milestone in our history, our 50th anniversary, which is quite an accomplishment for what started as a small family agency in rural Nebraska that's grown into one of the largest providers of insurance programs in the Medicare arena. We do so through a full portfolio of insurance products that include Medicare programs such as Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplement plans, standalone prescription drug programs as well, a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity programs, including final expense life insurance and pre-need programs, long and short-term care plans, disability income programs, and ancillary benefits, such as the ones we'll discuss today, including dental, vision, and hearing programs, critical illness and cancer plans, and hospital indemnity programs, which is the topic for today. Our Medicare Advantage portfolio is very large. It includes all the national players and many of the strong regional carriers that are a difference maker to you in your market. And that same philosophy carries over, obviously, twice in Medicare Advantage, into our prescription drug program. The ones that are available, the national carriers are available through our organization. That Medicare supplement portfolio is very large and robust and has a number of different programs set up to help you support those sales programs as well. The ancillary products includes all the players in the different categories, and we're pleased to have Medico as our partner today to walk through the hospital indemnity program and the offering that they have in addition to that. When we look at the Medicare market, it's obviously a burgeoning market where everyone speaks to the aging of the baby boomers. You know, a person turning 65 every 8 seconds, 10,000 plus a day. Well, that's not just the number of folks that are on Medicare, because if you consider it, there are folks that go beyond the age of 65 and don't access their Medicare benefits immediately, but you also have about a sixth of the Medicare population that's under the age of 65 and accessing that benefit through disability of one sort or another. So that gives us a very diverse population that we serve and a population that requires us to have a varied portfolio of products to help address some of the challenges that folks have with their bodies, with the chronic conditions and other things that happen to us as we age, and also have programs that come into play to help us deal with the folks that might have a bit of a challenge when it comes to their wallet. You look at the average income and the savings that most people on Medicare have, they need programs that help them with that cost and also deliver benefits on a basis that's easy for us to budget and for them to budget, more importantly. So as they go through and they look at the different choices they have with Medicare, in each of these categories, folks have an obligation to serve regardless of some of their base coverages. There are folks that will take part of Medicare and decline Part B. We see that a lot in the veteran community. We'll see people that have A, B, and D and don't pick up any additional medical coverage. You have then the folks that pick up the standardized, modernized Medicare supplement or go the Medicare Advantage route. In each of these options, they have financial exposure that we can help them with different products. Because as they make their choices, we're seeing a pretty even split when people pick up additional medical coverage between Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplement programs, according to the data given to us here by Deft Research. And it's important for us to note that one size doesn't fit all. Different people have different needs and different choices come into play in that regard. And we have the impact of MACRA coming at the first of the year, where folks who aren't already on Medicare will have different choices available to them versus the people who are already on Medicare by the first of the year. Those coverages that cover that Part B deductible are not going to be available to folks who aren't already on Medicare. And one of the things that Medico does is gives us great tools to help differentiate between those individuals. And you'll see this information come to you as part of the follow-up to today's presentation. One of the things that we really want to concentrate on now, however, are some of the costs that people face when they go into the hospital. If they have just original Medicare, they've got some challenges. Hospital costs are very high, and as this slide notes, 60% of all bankruptcies are related to medical expenses, and a big chunk of that comes out of a hospital stay. Because if a person has original Medicare, they have obligations they have to fulfill when they go in the hospital. In 2019, that's a $1,364 deductible for each benefit period, and then a certain number of days for which they have coverage and financial obligations thereafter. One of the things that's interesting to note is even if someone picks up a Medicare supplement program, there are claims that are paid based off of what Medicare pays. And so if a folks have different needs when they're in the hospital, they may still have some out-of-pocket exposure even with a strong Medicare supplement program. However, most of the time when we visit with folks about hospital indemnity programs, a lot of it goes hand in hand with the way some of the payment structures are set up for Medicare Advantage programs. And as they go into a Medicare Advantage plan, their cost can be set for an amount per stay. We don't see that nearly as much as the financial exposure that they have on a daily copayment for a stated number of days, where they can come out of pocket for a differing number depending upon how long they're in the hospital. And the same base coverages are there for them. Most people don't realize that if a person goes into a hospital and they request a semi-private or private room and they're on a Medicare Advantage plan, unless it's medically necessary, they're going to pay that cost difference. So in addition to some of the daily co-payments they may have, there's additional exposure for them. So we have asked our partners with Medicare and Medico, to come on, that's a Freudian slip there for you guys, to come on and visit with us about the coverages that they have available through Medico that help fill this need. And so we've got Ms. Augusta Norris with us today as our guest speaker, and she is going to assume control of this presentation. I'm going to send it over to you, Augusta, and you folks will have a fresh voice to listen to. Augusta, it's all yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and welcome everybody. I am very happy to be here. I hope you can see my screen. Just want to double check it here. There we go.
Yep.
All right, so we will jump in and get started today. We're going to talk about the hospital indemnity plan that we have here at Medico and how it can really fill those coverage gaps for your clients. We're going to go over a demonstration of it and then how you could use it and some tools that we have for you to use. Just a reminder, like John said, we do have a full portfolio of products to help with those coverage gaps as well, but we're going to stay on the hospital indemnity track today. If you do happen to have any questions, by all means, you can put them in the questions box. You can send them to John. Either way, make sure that you get them asked and we will get them answered for you. First things first, we're going to jump into the current trends very quickly. I know they've already been touched on a little bit today, but it's just nice to reiterate those and kind of see how they go hand in hand with a hospital indemnity. And as you know, those number of Medicare Advantage enrollees are growing, and it's significant every year, which means that your opportunity is growing as well. That's one of the biggest takeaways that we like to talk about and that I like to touch on is that it's not just that number that's growing. It is a opportunity for you and your clients to make sure that we are getting them covered on every aspect that can either go wrong or every aspect to have covered as well. This is a Kaiser Family Foundation research here. I really love their graphs. I love their research. I think they do a great job. If you're ever looking for more, it's a great place to look as well. The total number of Medicare Advantage enrollments has nearly doubled over the past decade and has risen to 34% of Medicare beneficiaries. Between 2017 and 18, I know we're almost at the end of 2019, which is crazy, but we're going to look at 2017 and 18. The number of Medicare Advantage plan enrollees increased by 8%. Or if you want to think about this in the millions, it's 1.5 million, which is a lot. The congressional budget office projects enrollment will continue to rise 42% within the next decade, so even more than the last one. So what kind of opportunity does this present? Besides people coming into age and besides being able to go out there and talk to them, it's a huge opportunity. Your clients' out-of-pocket maximums are going to increase also, which is going to bring in these coverage gaps that we're talking about today. And this is, again, the Kaiser Foundation. I know I'll stick with it. Average out-of-pocket maximum on a Medicare Advantage plan in 2018 was $5,187 that you see there. Over the last 5 years, the average has increased 21%, and we've actually seen this as a steady growth of 21% from about $4,300 in 2011 to $5,200 in 2016, and that has continued to be steady like that since 2016. Many plans available today have the $6,700 maximum limit, and this is why your clients really need help managing those expenses and in those coverage gaps and in what they are. And most people just aren't 100% sure what their coverage gaps are. So we're going to go in, and it says cross-selling Medico's hospital indemnity plan, and we have an example of that, but a lot of this is just making sure that we're comfortable with what Medico's plan is, that base plan, and that knowing that AEP is a really, really, really great opportunity to go out there and sell these hospital indemnity plans, talk to your clients about them, really eliminate those high cost share gaps. Best part about our plan is it starts on day one. So day one coverage. That's one of your biggest selling points of this plan. And I'm going to point out some things today that I really think are great selling points that we hear from agents and things that they like to talk about as well to hopefully help you a little bit more down the road. Maybe you need to kind of revamp that book or just need some talking points for those clients a little bit. So what are some things that we talk about when your client deserves? What is it? Because every client deserves something different. And that means that you have to stay flexible as an agent. We fully believe your client deserves flexibility when it comes to their insurance. And that's why here at Medico, our hospital indemnity offers just that. Our plan is very customizable. It offers a lot of options for them to go out. There's actually 7 riders along with the base plan. So they can really customize that to them. They get to choose what they want. It really makes them kind of feel in control. And that adds an incredible value to your client and an incredible value to you as an agent to let your client be involved in that process instead of saying, well, this is what you have to do. I'm sorry, you only have these 2 options. But you let them be involved. They get to choose those options. And it really gives them that peace of mind that they're happy with what they got to choose because they were involved with it for once. So let's jump into just the basics of Medico's hospital indemnity plan. This is really just the nuts and bolts of what the plan is, that base plan. So when they go in there and buy it, this is what you're looking at. This is what you're going to get for sure when you purchase that plan. Just a few notes here. Our issue ages are 40 to 85. There are no attained age premium adjustments. And then for the most part, your average household discount is going to be 7%. Also, the best part, no policy fees. A little bit about where this policy is available at. So every state that you see in blue, that's where we are available at. And then the one that you don't see in blue right now is Virginia. So I'm not sure if any of you are licensed there, but as of February 1st, we will also have our plan there as well. Okay, so now we're going to jump into these basics and look at them just a little bit more. We have, in each one of these, we're going to break down as we go on to the next slide. So we'll get into some detail here. Hospital confinement benefit, observation unit benefit, emergency room benefit, transportation and lodging, and inpatient mental health benefit. These are your basics, and then we're going to go into what each of these mean. And as well, your client is going to get restoration of benefits. So as long as they're out of the hospital for 60 days with no care, they're going to have their full daily benefit restored back to them. So that means they can use this multiple times in the same year. Another great selling point of this plan. So the hospital confinement benefit. The confinement benefit is going to pay each day of the hospital confinement, which starts on day 1, and that's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 21 and 31. All right. And then, like I said, it's going to start paying on day 1. You choose those number of days, and they can choose the amount per day as well. It's going to be $100 to $600, and that's going to move in $25 increments. So when they go in here, they're going to choose their days. It starts on day 1. They can have that restoration of benefits as well. So just keep that in mind when they're choosing their days, that they are going to get those days come back to them. Observation unit. The biggest selling point, it pays 100% of the hospital confinement benefit. Lately, a lot of hospitals have really changed how they code their patients, and they're keeping them as observation unit because of how Medicare Advantage does kind of word a lot of its claims. It's complicated and it's time consuming for doctors to fill out. So they're keeping them as observation, which means that we want to have 100% of observation coverage for that maximum of 6 days per year. Again, there's no minimum or maximum hours per stay either. So that's a great selling point. Emergency room benefit, $150 per day. It just has to be that covered loss, and then they have to be admitted within 24 hours, and they can use it up to 4 days per calendar year. Another thing that's really important to note here is, as we go through here, I'll always say calendar year, not policy year. So this is January to December. Now, one of the biggest selling points and what I think is the most important thing to take away from this plan is this one right here, and this is in your basics. This isn't even a rider, and it's kind of unheard of. It's a great, great, great thing to have for your client. What this is going to pay $100 per day for a maximum of 10 days. Your client just has to travel 50 miles or more from their residence when they receive care. And the whole thinking behind this was a lot of feedback that we were getting from agents and their clients, and them saying, it's great that we have this coverage and the hospital indemnity, but if I had to travel, I still have to pay a lot of money to have my loved ones there with me, their spouse, and that gas money, that hotel bill, maybe even a flight. And so we took that and we said, hey, let's add this into the base, and then we're going to provide some extra money up to $1,000 to help them have that spouse there with them, or their kids, or somebody that they need there with them. So they'll receive that money as long as they go 50 miles from the residence of the policyholder. And then you have the inpatient mental health benefit. This one's going to pay $175 per day, maximum of 7 days per calendar year. Okay, so that's your base. It's a great basics for the hospital indemnity plan. Now we're going to jump into some optional benefit riders. Important things to remember about your optional benefit riders. These are customizable. Use your My Enroller to do these. About 90% of our hospital indemnity apps do come in via My Enroller. And the reason is because it lets you choose, and you choose your riders, and then it'll give you your options for your daily amounts and your dollar amount, so you don't actually have to necessarily remember all the details. It's a lot, and you guys have a lot on your plate. So this is a really, really good thing to use as well, and make sure that that's something that you're utilizing, that My Enroller, to help you out. So first one, and actually our most popular one, is going to be our ambulance rider. And there's a reason that it's the most popular, and that's because a lot of people do live alone. So this is going to pay $250 per day, and this covers ground or air. So if we're thinking about a hospital indemnity plan, the first thought that should be is, how are they going to get there? And that's going to have to be ground or air if nobody else is there. Even if somebody else is there, they might still have to go by ambulance. So this is the most popular one. There is a maximum of 4 days per calendar year, and then a lifetime max of $2,500. Very great option. I highly, highly encourage every plan you write to add this to. It's very affordable, and I'll actually have a slide later on to prove that to you as well. Next one is the outpatient therapy and chiropractic service benefit rider. This pays $50 per day for 15 or 30 days for outpatient therapy. In the outpatient therapy, that's going to include occupational, speech, and physical therapy. And then up to 5 days per chiropractic services. Those are going to consist of manual adjustments, manipulations of the spine. It just has to be prescribed by a doctor from an injury that occurred. So if your client wakes up and they're like, oh, my neck is really stiff, I'm going to go to the chiropractor today, that's not going to be something that's covered. But if the doctor prescribes them to go, maybe they fell down the stairs or something, and the doctor says you need to go to chiropractic services, then it's going to be covered. So just make sure that that's explained really well to them. A lot of us see that chiropractic services and we're like, yes, I need to go to a chiropractor. I'm jumping on that. Make sure that we know the ins and outs of that one. Next one is a skilled nursing facility benefit rider. So this is going to pay, they have some options, $100, $150, or $200 per day. And that's up to 50 days. Another great part of this one is a one-time restoration of benefits. So what this means is that, let's say that your client chooses the 50 days and they go into a skilled nursing facility for 49 of those 50 days. They come out, they're off of care for 180 days. I think that equates to about 6 months. And we're going to restore all 49 of those days. So now they have 50 again. I always tell people you compare this to like a 2-for-1 deal. If I'm shopping, I'm going for that 2-for-1 deal. So this is how I think of this one as well. And I've had agents say that that's how they started selling this one, is you basically get 100 days for whatever you're paying per day. And then we have our lump sum cancer benefit. This has also quickly became one of our most popular riders. And the reason is it's the one-time payment, so your lump sum, and it's going to pay $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, $7,500, or $10,000. It's available up to age 80. I already said those payouts. Sometimes I get ahead of myself on my payouts. And then it's the first diagnosis of internal cancer or malignant melanoma. This is only a 2-year look back. That's the most important thing to take away from this cancer benefit rider. Most standalone products and even riders are longer than a 2-year look back, and that's what makes this one so popular nowadays. I think over half of our plans that come in include the lump sum cancer benefit rider. It's very, very important to talk to your clients about. Either they know somebody who has, they've been related to somebody who's had cancer. This is not taxed, so that lump sum that's being paid out to them, it's not taxed. So they get all $10,000 if that's what they want to go for. Great rider to have. Another one that we have is a lump sum hospital confinement benefit rider. You can think of this one as if they go into the hospital up to 3 benefit periods per year, they're going to receive a payment of $250, $500, or $750. All they have to do is go into the hospital and they get this extra money. So another great optional rider to have that extra cash. Urgent care rider, it's going to pay $50 per day, up to 4 days per calendar year. Pretty self-explanatory. If they go to urgent care, this is when they're going to be able to claim on here. And then our most popular rider of all, besides, I know the hospital, the ambulance one is very popular. This is the most popular one out of all of them, and it's outpatient surgery benefit rider. It's going to pay $250, $500, $750, or $1,000, up to 2 days per calendar year. They just have to go into an outpatient surgery. They cannot be there more than 24 hours. It has to be a licensed facility that is equipped to do these outpatient surgeries. All right, so that's all 7. And then we go into underwriting. And we believe that we have simplified underwriting here. Like I said, those issue ages 40 to 85. There are 9 knockout questions. Just kind of note that once you start choosing options, sometimes there's like an A and a B, so just something, a little note there. But those all have to be answered no. Some declinable conditions, being on oxygen. I will say that being on oxygen, this means like a 24/7, that one that kind of goes in their nose. That's going to be being on oxygen, not a CPAP machine. So if they sleep with a CPAP machine, that's okay because they are not dependent on it 24/7, round the clock type of thing. Requiring insulin or injectable medications. Not all diabetes are a knockout, so unless they require the insulin or injectable medications. This is also a really good time to point out that you are able to do an underwriting pre-screen. You can always call into our underwriters, kind of explain what's going on with your client, and they're going to lead you in the direction that you need to go, how to answer those questions, what to put in those notes if you need to, and then they'll also note it as well, and they'll lead you how you kind of need to go throughout an application, as well as the My Enroller. If you're using My Enroller, it's also going to let you know what to do as well. Diagnosed with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, MS, COPD in the last 12 months. Diagnosed or treated for heart attack, stroke, or cancer in the last 24 months, which should make sense because that cancer rider is a 2-year look back, and then if they're on dialysis. 6 months pre-existing condition limitation, and then a 2-year contestability period. That 6-month pre-existing condition, it just means anything that is pre-existing won't be covered for the first 6 months of the policy. Okay, so that really covers what our product is. Now we're going to go into a client scenario that really helps you use this product and see how it's used in everyday life here. So we have chosen Anna, and she is our fictional client here, and she is 70 years old. She currently has a plan that is a Med Advantage plan with a $6,700 out-of-pocket maximum. One day, Anna unfortunately slipped and fell in her driveway, and she had to be rushed to the hospital by ambulance. So by ambulance, don't forget that. That's important. This is what Anna's plan would look like before she got the opportunity to meet with her Medico agent and look at a hospital indemnity plan. So what you see here is before we insert this hospital indemnity plan. Anna's plan copays 5 days for a hospital stay, $360 per day. 20 days at a skilled nursing facility, $120 per day. So if we do the math here, what we're looking at, $1,800 inpatient, $50 emergency room, $200 ambulance ride, $2,400 at a skilled nursing. So she would be paying the potential out-of-pocket cost here of this unexpected slip and fall would be $4,450. Now let's go see what it looks like if we put this hospital indemnity plan. And that cool little worksheet you see there on the side, we have that available for you. That's out on MIC. You can get that, or if you ask John, I can send it over for you. Either way is perfectly fine. It's a customizable PDF, so you can kind of insert it, kind of like a math problem if you want to, or you can print some examples off. So luckily for Anna, her agent presented this medical hospital indemnity plan for her during AEP, so maybe right now, and she bought a policy, very affordable policy at that. The base plan paid her $1,250 for her 5-day hospital stay, so that inpatient observation stay. They also paid her $150 for the emergency room benefit, and then it was $500 is what she ended up receiving, that transportation and lodging, because she went over 50 miles from her home. Ambulance rider kicked in and covered that ambulance ride for her. Skilled nursing paid $2,000, and then she received a check from Medico for $4,150. So that came from us to her to help her pay her bills. And the thing is, that's just a plan that was made for her, so she ended up paying $300 out of pocket instead of $4,450. If they wanted to up the plan a little bit and make it a little bit more robust, we could have done that as well, and then she wouldn't have had to pay anything. So that's a great little plan to have with you. It's a good example. We have a lot of agents that say, well, my client's just really worried about the premium they're going to have to pay. Use an example. Take Anna's client scenario if you want to and use it as an example. Use it to your benefit. Some other ways that we can go about selling Medico's hospital indemnity plan. Again, it can be any time during the year. So yes, AEP is a great time, but you can do this anytime during the year. That hospital indemnity worksheet, use it to your advantage. You can use it now during AEP. You can show a high deductible solution. You can leave this worksheet with them. That's the best part. It's a great visual. I know for me, I always use myself as an example. I have to see something over and over and over again for it to kind of click sometimes, especially when it comes to money and either spending money or saving money. And I know that a lot of other people are that way. So leave this worksheet behind. Let them look at it, let them study it, think on it a little bit sometimes, and then maybe they'll come back around. And then maybe they'll say, hey, what's the value of actually having this plan? And this is that value chart that I talked about earlier where I said, I'm going to prove to you that that ambulance rider is very, very affordable. And here we can see, so this is Anna's potential payout. So this is what we could have done for Anna to cover everything. And so here, we took her inpatient hospital stay. We did 6-day benefit at $350 per day. The monthly premium, $18.80 with a potential payout of $2,100. If we go down through here, her ambulance, $250 a day, less than $3 a month. That is extremely affordable when you think about how expensive it is for ground or air transportation in an ambulance. Skilled nursing facility, $50 benefit or 50-day benefit, $100 per day, $7.67. Outpatient surgery, $250 per day, $6.60. And then let's look at that cancer plan down there, that lump sum cancer, $5,000 benefit, $8.42 per month. I think I was saying per day, but it's per month, guys, not per day. So in this situation, her monthly premium would be $53.55 with a potential payout for the first claim of $14,400. That is a huge payout for a very, very little premium. So sometimes it takes really showing them, hey, look at what you could get paid out versus what you're going to pay in premium. It's still a very affordable premium. So it's a little bit about the financial effects of healthcare costs over the past 2 years, and this is some research that we did again. This is conducted by National Public Radio, and that is the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and the Harvard T.H. School of Public Health. So this poll surveyed 2,000 adults nationwide, and this is what we found here. 44% had to set up payment plans for healthcare costs. 42% spent all or majority of their savings. 27% unable to afford necessities. That's going to be necessities such as food, heat, or housing. I'm not sure about where you are, but we've already got snow for the year, and it is going to be cold this year. So I would not want to be able to not afford some heating. 23% took on credit card debt that may never be paid back, and 7% declared bankruptcy, all because they did not have a way to cover their coverage gaps in their health care. So when we start thinking about hospital indemnity plan, they're saying, what about premium? What about premium? Use this as an example. You have so many examples that you can use in your benefit to help your client really see their benefit of actually having a plan. So a few more options that are available to you on marketing. There are some customer materials and there are agent materials for you. So this is some new things. We've kind of revamped a bunch of these and put them back out there, kind of make them a little bit more up to date, as I like to say. There are client-facing marketing materials, brochures, flyers, postcards, PowerPoint presentation, and then some agent materials. So for you, kind of if you want to educate yourself at all, there's some highlight sheets, reference guides, worksheets, and some videos as well. We touched a little bit on the My Enroller, but just a little bit more kind of to get into it, just so you guys are comfortable with it. You really can use it anytime or anywhere because you can use it with or without Wi-Fi. Easily transmit applications in Medico, and then we have multiple signature options. So things that you can do, you can have voice signature over the phone, and if you decide to do that, it will give you a little prompt to read, and it takes about 4 minutes tops, kind of on the long end, to go through that, read it to your client, have them agree to it, and it will record both of you speaking. And then you have electronic version, so they can be either present or not present for that electronic version, and that's okay. It's a great option too. So say they're not present, it'll just have you fill out all the application, and when it gets to their signature part, you email it over to them, they do their part, and it submits it into underwriting. You also have the best part of all, your policies are going to get issued a lot quicker because it is virtual, I guess you would call it. And then anytime there are form updates, rate updates, any kind of payment options, they're all going to be on My Enroller first. This is an overnight update every time, so this is where you're kind of going to see those rate changes or forms about the first time every time. And like I said earlier, about 90% of our hospital indemnity policies do come in via My Enroller because as you've seen, there's a lot of day options and dollar options available to you. Ultimately, you're going to get paid sooner by using the My Enroller. So if that's what it takes, that's okay. Use your My Enroller, please. Last but not least, we still have our agent incentive program going on. So just a little recap, just a little reminder, and that does kind of touch on what your full portfolio is here with Medico. We have our med subs, we have our dental, hospital indemnity, cancer, short-term recovery care, and final expense. All you have to do, very, very easy, write a minimum of 6 applications per month. Just make sure that they're all approved within that same month, please. So we're getting ready to go into November. It's a great time for you while you're out there selling those Med Advantage plans. Sell your 6 hospital indemnity plans, get $25 each, make some extra cash, make some extra commissions as well. And then make sure that those are still in force when that payment comes out. It has to be in force for 45 days after the close of the month. And then you have November and December to go out and do this. Thank you, guys. That is our agent services number if you do ever need it. They're great to have. And then if John wants to send out my information, you can contact me as well. But thank you so much for listening today. John, thank you for having us on today. I hope everyone has a wonderful Halloween. I hope you're dressed up. I'm Batwoman today at the office, so it's a fun day. Have a great rest of your Thursday and an even better weekend, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Augusta. Really appreciate it. I'm going to check for some questions. The biggest one, of course, is the taxation piece that come across as a question, and then an insurance payment of this sort is not taxed. Gooch, so
nope.
We're all good there. Yeah.
Yep, you are correct, sir.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Cool. Part of the reason why we really like working with Medico is the support that is delivered by the company, such as the trainings that Augusta and Carrie and some of the other folks at the organization lay out, the materials that they have. We've touched upon some of the marketing materials, I think, that are some of the top-notch pieces that are available in the industry. And they have the different pieces that look at the market from, in my mind, the perspective of the agent, including a microsite for their dental program. So keep that in mind. What we do here at Premier to help with the promotion of these programs include a number of little factors that help you in your agency as well. We have a program that enables you to establish an agent profile and contract with multiple carriers electronically through our Assurance Bay system. We also offer discounted E&O to qualified agents. What makes you a qualified agent? You have a contract with us. It, however, realizes and states our realization that as an independent agent, you have multiple organizations with whom you can contract for different programs, and it is very rare that you'll find anybody out there that has every contract in the world. It just doesn't happen. So this program enables you to protect yourself with errors and admissions coverage, regardless from whom a contract originates. We also make certain that your license stays in play with discounted bundled CE packages through our association with WebCE. And as an independent agent, you can obviously add to your own portfolio of benefits the programs that you offer yourself through an individual non-cancelable DI program that is modified guarantee issue, discounted in its rates, and you share in the commission. Nice way to add to your own benefit package. Much as where today's presentation is recorded, past presentations have been recorded as well and are available for you 24/7 on our website at premiersmi.com or our YouTube channel. And they include not only product presentations such as today, but different marketing programs that are available to you to give you some hints to help get in front of folks to offer the programs such as Medico's Hospital Indemnity program. We also offer complimentary electronic support through our quote engines and enrollment tools. And the quote engine that is listed here actually has a number of different components to it that are applicable for today's topic particularly. In many markets, an agent will walk into a Medicare beneficiary's house, and the person in many circumstances will just want verification that, hey, I'm good where I am. And good agents will recognize that and do that as well. But in markets where that is a Medicare Advantage choice, this program allows you then to select that program and add on ancillary benefits to fill in the holes of that program. So it gives you the opportunity to show an MA program as they have it, and then additional coverages such as a hospital indemnity program, a dental program that can add to those coverages. And as Augusta was saying, take you to the carrier's enrollment tools as well. So it gives you the opportunity to use that My Enroller program to add to coverages and not walk out of the house without a sale, but more importantly, not help your prospecting client with complete coverage. We also have a program in play that helps you with the Medicare Advantage products as well. The quote engine is based on, that we referred to in the previous slide, is based more on Medicare supplement and ancillary programs. The Medicare Center program also gives you the opportunity to do side-by-side comparison of Medicare Advantage programs and enrollments through that system as well. Both of those programs are available without cost to our contracted agents, and both of those programs give you the opportunity to collect and store compliantly the scope of appointment forms that are necessary for you in a Medicare appointment. We also give you an opportunity to put your social media marketing efforts on autopilot through our Coverage Made Easy program, and we collate all of the information on the different programs with the additional incentives that many of the carriers offer. Augusta mentioned their Pilot On program in a manner of speaking. The additional incentives you can get by selling Medicare products. Not only do those products help you qualify for Medico's additional incentives and trips, it also helps you qualify for Premier's Producer Convention, which this coming year is a cruise from Miami to the Bahamas. If you're a sun worshiper, that's one to really aspire to. We also give you some additional assistance in terms of lead programs. We have contact lists available for you at minimal cost or without cost, depending upon your contracting situation. And it gives you the opportunity to re-engage with that relationship with Ma Bell in areas and with products that allow for cold calling. We also have different programs set up for involvement and then sales tracks to follow for different community-based marketing programs where you can access those centers of influence in your chosen target market. That gives you the opportunity to participate with retail programs, Walmart program, or different retail programs with different carriers in their sponsorship, ways of approaching and marketing to and through faith-based organizations, and those programs that give you an opportunity to work with the folks that provide the care for the programs that we are offering. Those providers in the community include not just doctors and specialists, but going beyond that to dentists and other providers of care for the programs that we offer. Some of the different carriers also offer different prospects generated through their efforts. We have different ways of helping you ingratiate yourself into that situation with the carriers of note. We also offer different internet lead programs, a Facebook program that has been very successful, particularly in our final expense arena. And we do offer direct mail support, where we help subsidize the cost of mailings through our preferred lead vendors at deeply discounted rate, so you can stay on a regular schedule with your mail campaign at a reduced cost. All this said and done, we're looking to earn your business. We want the opportunity to work with you. We feel that many of the programs that are offered by the carriers that we associate with, particularly with Medico, and a lot of the programs that are available to you through their organization, give you an opportunity to build your book of business and your income stream while serving your prospects and clients. It's all a question of making the determination of, this is what I need to do, make it a part of your marketing program, and then act on it. You can reach any of us here at Premier Marketing through our toll-free number at 1-800-365-8208 or through our website at premiersmi.com. We look forward to the opportunity to visit with you. Watch for the follow-up from today's presentation. And in the meantime, we wish you good selling. Thanks so very much, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Augusta, thank you very much.